Good morning, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took 2 trades today and I've got everything on video. If you like these videos, hit the like button. If you have any questions about these trades, leave a comment below. Finally, if you'd like to download the trading tools that I use in this video, the easiest way to do so is to go to my YouTube homepage, click on the little Facebook icon. That'll bring you to the trading group page where you can become a member. Click on files and you can download my trading plan, my spreadsheet, the 2-hour calculator, all that good stuff. All right, let's take a look at the trade. As always, I start with Webull. Open on the markets pane, top gainers list, pre-market, click on all. Then I organize by volume, and I'm only interested in the top 3 stocks. And Bntc was the #1 stock trading. I had a couple others on the list. Let's look at the video, and Bntc was the one that I took the 2 trades on. So here's, as soon as I put Bntc on the watch list, it was right at this moment. It was 402 and some change, and you could see that it was making this nice A to B part of the ABCD pattern. You can call this point A if you want, or this one, and it's making new highs. So at this point, and this line tells me, I marked this out showing that this was the previous high of the aftermarket, I believe, and it was also above the high of the previous day. So that's a signal for me to look for an entry. So at this point, I'm just waiting for it to establish its new high and give me a pullback, and then I'll enter on the break of a 1-minute candle after it gives me that pullback. So what ended up happening with Bntc is it just continued to run up and up and up, and you can't get in on these front side entries because I used to do that, and it's crazy. Like, you feel like, wow, what am I doing? I'm taking a huge risk because you don't know how far these things are going to go before they pull back, and it's really hard to hold to any sort of profit target. As soon as you see some chop, you want to get out because you've just made a really risky trade. So it's best just to let these things make their new high and then wait for the pullback, which you can see is happening right now. So here is where this is the first opportunity to get in. So right now the high of this candle is 609. So my ideal entry at this point would be 610 if the next candle makes a 610. So you see that right now it's at 609. So I have my fingers on the hotkeys, ready to trigger my buy order. So there you saw it popped up for a split second to 610. That's enough for me to trigger my buy order, and I did at that moment. So it put a buy order at 609, and it didn't fill right away, but that's because I'm buying the ask, and look at the spread. So the spread is 618 and my offset is about 3 cents. So if my order got triggered at 609, that gives me like some wiggle room of about to 612. So there's no way I could get filled at that moment, and that's why that order just sat there. This is not a broker issue. This is where the buyers are. That's it. Doesn't matter what broker you're on. If you put in an order at that exact same time with that exact same criteria on your limit order, you would not get filled. It could be light speed, it could be whatever. So you have to wait for the ask to come back down to 610, and you can't put in an order to buy the bid because these are buyers, these are not sellers. So if you watch the ask, okay, I'm not sure if we caught that on the video. Yeah, right there, the ask is at 610. So it must have come down right after that because I got filled at 609. So now my stop loss is 1 cent below this candle, and I didn't even put my profit target order out because it was looking like it was going to flush down against me right away, which that happens sometimes. You have to be ready for that. And as soon as it breaks this line here, I have to get out. So I think my stop loss was 574. 574 was my stop loss. So I have to see 574 or lower to get out. And of course I have my fingers are on my hotkeys ready to sell. And it starts teasing me. It looks like, okay, now it's going to go in my favor. And you might argue like, well, why didn't you wait for more of a pullback? With these things, you never know. You might only get one chance to get in, like at the first 1 minute candle that makes a new high could be it. And it happens a lot. and you get in and the thing takes off, and you would have missed the trade, and you miss more than you. I don't know how to say this. You're gonna I guess miss out on more trades than you're gonna lose trading like this. Is what I'm getting at. So let's fast forward here a little bit. So you can see it keeps coming down, but then it kind of bounces off. So it, for a little bit, I think, oh, it's probably going to work out, because I know that this thing's in it. Well, I don't know, but I mean, I have the feeling, just based on this huge run that, and the tons of volume that was in there, that it's got more to give. You just don't know where it's going to give. And there you see it popped right down all the way past, where my desired exit was. As soon as I see that, I hit my sell all keys. And then unfortunately, I get filled at 565. And again, that is not a Webull issue. That is where the sellers are at. So now when you're selling, you're selling to the bid. And you can see here the bid is 568. And then when I hit, it was 565 and then 563, so on. So I got filled at 565. Look at the spread here, 560, and this was a 575 a second ago. So this is just a stock with a lot of spread. And whenever you're in these volatile stocks, that is one of the risks you take when you're trading them. I rarely get burned by it. Otherwise, I wouldn't do this. But yeah, more often than not, it works in my favor, not against me. This is really like the first time this month that I've taken such a big, such slippage on the way out. And again, due to just where the sellers are, not the platform, not my execution or anything like that. So now my job, according to my plan and strategy, is to take the next entry, because I have to assume that that was a fake breakout, and assume that the next entry is going to work. And if that one fails, then I take the next one, and that's it. I get 3 trades, and that's it. That's my plan. That's my strategy. So here you can see the top of this candle's 585. I think I get in on the candle after this one. Let's see. Yeah, so, okay. So the top of this one's 584, and you see this candle opens at 584, so I need to see 585 or higher to get in. Yeah, there I'm hovering over that candle, so the high is 584. I want to see 585. So there, you see that for a split second it showed 585, and this means that I triggered my hotkeys to buy. And this time I got filled right away. And again, that's just a function of where the spread is. That's usually the case for me. I rarely don't get filled. So this one's looking a lot more promising. But, again, that's no guarantee. I've been, like yesterday, I had a bunch of trades where they popped up right away after I got in them and then ended up stopping me out. So you never know. So if you saw me use my 2-hour calculator there, I put the entry and I put where my stop loss is, which is based on the previous candle that I entered on. That gives me my profit target. And this thing just ran really hard. So that's 2 times my risk is where that profit target is. Okay, so I got filled. It didn't give me the little notification for some reason. Those were taking time. But I got filled right at my profit target at 625. I can show you the order confirmation and all that. But I just want to say that theoretically, when you lose a 1-hour trade, then the 2-hour trade should wipe out that loss and you should be in the green. That's the idea, but this is real live trading. And you can see 2 things happen here. The first trade was a little bit higher risk, still not high risk. Like most of my trades are around 5 or 6% risk, and that's where I want them to be. And then this one was a little bit on the low side, but that's all based on the chart. I can't do anything about that because my rule and my plan says that whatever candle I enter on, that my stop loss, which is my risk, that's 1R, must be 1 cent below the previous candle. The only exception to that is if the candle I enter on is lower than that candle, then I make that my my stop loss. So that's the way that worked. And so, yeah, I was risking 20 cents on that trade. So my win is 40 cents. Where on the first trade, I was risking 35 cents and my win would have been 70 cents per share. And still, even there, you could see that this second trade should have wiped out the loss of the first trade, but there was slippage. And again, that's just the reality of day trading. It doesn't happen often to me, but once in a while it does. So you're going to see that I'm still slightly in the red, but basically break even after those two trades. So, that's essentially break even for me. And I'll show you the actual orders. So there you can see those are the only two trades that I took, both on Bntc, and my stop loss on that first trade was 574, and I got filled at 565, so I took 9 cents slippage again, because that's where the sellers were when I hit the sell button. And that's just par for the course. Sometimes when you're trading in the pre-market, that can happen during the open too. If the stock is volatile enough, you can get crazy slippage like that even during regular trading hours. So let's look at actually the account performance. So yeah, that's today, minus 44 cents. So still, it could be worse, because yesterday I had 3 losses. Here's yesterday, 3 losses. And then this is, so for the week now, I'm down 861, only 1.33%. So that's not bad. Can definitely bounce back from that. And for the month, still doing really well, up about 8.5%. And nothing to complain about there. This is normal day trading stuff. And let's look at the spreadsheet. So let's see. So yeah, the actual risk on that was 5.75%, but it ended up being 7.26% of a loss because of the slippage. But still, even with all of these red trades mixed in here on this, this is trade number 1, the first trade that I take at the pre-market open. I'm still up a considerable amount considering my account size. And the same thing with the second trade. I'm, up almost $10 there, just taking a handful of trades. And then the third trade is basically break even at this point. But that one, I rarely take a third trade. So up 47.38 so far. And we got a little bit of work to do to get back to green this week, but that's the way it goes sometimes. The main thing is that you keep trading your plan. You keep doing the exact same thing every day, and that puts the statistics in your favor. I want to show you one other really important thing is you might say, well, why didn't you try to get more out of that trade? Let's see, where was it? Tuesday. Because look, here is where my profit target was. This thing went all the way to 672. Well, another common strategy that I used to trade is that, I would stay in the trade and I would bring my stop up, move my stop up. I would scale out for one thing. So I would already be down way, I should say like in the green much less at this point if I scaled out here, because I would have only sold half of my shares or 75% of my shares. And then my strategy would have been to follow the bottom of these 1-minute candles. So that means the next time I got out would have been down here when this thing stopped me out around $6.15. $6.15, and that's basically 10 cents less than what I actually got on the stock. So I would have made even less money on that trade had I done, following the bottom of the 1-minute candles and scaling out and all that stuff. So I've proved this in the past because I used to think that was the way to trade, and after just taking months and months of trades and keeping records, that holding to 2R and stopping out at 1R is definitely the way to go in the long run. Once in a while, you'll get lucky and the thing will keep running and you'll make one huge trade. But on average, that's not going to happen. That's going to work like maybe 1 out of 20 times. So that's not enough to stay green on, or at least considerably green. So anyway, let me know if you have any questions about this trade or any others that I take. And as always, I like to leave you with, no matter what, always take your stop losses and always honor your profit targets, and you should be green in the long run. Take care.